When selecting so-called for a 30 amp 208 volt 3-phase connector, it is crucial to consult the appropriate ampacity tables to ensure the cord can safely handle the intended current. Table 400.5A of the National Electrical Code provides allowable ampacities for flexible cords, including so-cord. This table specifies the maximum current a conductor can carry continuously without exceeding its temperature rating. For a 3-conductor #8 so-cord, the allowable ampacity is 40 amps. This means each conductor within the cord can safely carry up to 40 amps of current. Since the 30 amp load is less than the 40 amp ampacity of the #8 so-cord, it is adequate for this application. It's important to note that ampacity ratings are based on specific conditions, such as the ambient temperature and the number of current-carrying conductors in a raceway or cable. Correction factors may need to be applied if the ambient temperature exceeds 30 degrees Celsius or if more than 3 current-carrying conductors are bundled together. These correction factors reduce the allowable ampacity of the conductors to prevent overheating. In this case, since we are dealing with a flexible cord in free air, these correction factors are typically not necessary. However, it's always a good practice to verify the installation conditions and apply any applicable correction factors to ensure the conductors are properly sized. The National Electrical Code defines so-cord as a type of flexible cord that is oil-resistant and suitable for use in damp locations. The S indicates that it is a hard surface cord, and the O indicates that it is oil-resistant. So-cord is commonly used for portable tools, appliances, and equipment that require a flexible power connection. When selecting so-cord, it is important to consider the environmental conditions in which it will be used. If the cord will be exposed to oil, chemicals, or moisture, it is important to choose a cord that is specifically rated for those conditions. The number of conductors in the so-cord must also be sufficient for the application. In this case, a 3-conductor cord is required for a 3-phase circuit. The conductors are typically identified by color coding, such as black, red, and blue for the phase conductors, and green for the grounding conductor. The grounding conductor is essential for safety, as it provides a path for fault current to return to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electrical shock. When connecting the so-called to the 208-volt 3-phase 30-amp connector, it is important to follow proper wiring practices. The phase conductors must be connected to the corresponding terminals in the connector, and the grounding conductor must be connected to the grounding terminal. It is also important to ensure that the connections are tight and secure to prevent overheating and arcing. Before energizing the circuit, it is important to verify that the voltage and current ratings of the connector are compatible with the voltage and current of the load. The connector must also be properly rated for the environmental conditions in which it will be used. If the connector is exposed to moisture or corrosive substances, it is important to choose a connector that is specifically designed for those conditions. Regularly inspect the so-cord and connector for signs of damage, such as cuts, abrasions, or discoloration. If any damage is found, the cord or connector must be replaced immediately to prevent electrical hazards. Do not overload the so-cord or connector. Exceeding the ampacity rating of the cord or connector can cause overheating and fire. It is important to choose a cord and connector that are properly sized for the intended load. When using so-cord in a portable application, be careful not to kink or twist the cord. Kinking or twisting the cord can damage the conductors and cause them to overheat. It is also important to avoid running the cord over sharp edges or objects that could damage the insulation. When storing so-cord, coil it neatly to prevent tangling and kinking. Avoid storing the cord in direct sunlight or extreme temperatures, as this can damage the insulation. Use appropriate strain relief devices to prevent stress on the cord connections. Strain relief devices help to prevent the cord from being pulled out of the connector, which could damage the connections and create a safety hazard. When working with electrical equipment, always follow safe work practices. To energize the circuit before making any connections or repairs. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. Be aware of the potential hazards of electricity, and take precautions to prevent electrical shock. The National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of standards for electrical wiring and equipment. It is important to consult the NEC for specific requirements related to the installation and use of so-called and connectors. Local electrical codes may also apply, so it is important to check with the local authorities to ensure compliance. Proper selection and installation of so-called and connectors are essential for electrical safety. By following the recommendations in this discussion and consulting the NEC, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe and reliable. Selecting the correct size and type of so-called for a given application is crucial for ensuring electrical safety and preventing equipment damage. The ampacity of the cord must be sufficient to handle the load current, and the cord must be rated for the environmental conditions in which it will be used. Proper installation and maintenance are also essential for ensuring the long-term reliability of the cord. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about electrical wiring or equipment. They can provide expert advice and ensure that your electrical system is installed and maintained in accordance with all applicable codes and standards. In summary, for a 30 amp 208 volt 3-phase load, a 3-conductor #8 SO cord with an ampacity of 40 amps is sufficient. Always verify the installation conditions and apply any applicable correction factors to ensure the conductors are properly sized. Follow safe work practices and consult the National Electrical Code for specific requirements. By following these guidelines, you can ensure a safe and reliable electrical connection. Firstly, determine the load requirements. This involves identifying the voltage, current, and phase of the load. Secondly, consult Table 400.5e of the National Electrical Code to determine the allowable ampacity of the SO cord. Thirdly, select an SO cord with an ampacity that is equal to or greater than the load current. Fourthly, ensure that the SO cord is rated for the environmental conditions in which it will be used. Fifthly, follow proper wiring practices when connecting the SO cord to the connector. Sixthly, regularly inspect the SO cord and connector for signs of damage. Seventhly, do not overload the SO cord or connector. Eighthly, use appropriate strain relief devices to prevent stress on the cord connection. Ninthly, follow safe work practices when working with electrical equipment. Tenthly, consult the National Electrical Code for specific requirements related to the installation and use of SO cord and connectors. By following these steps, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe and reliable. Selecting the correct size and type of SO cord is essential for preventing electrical hazards and ensuring the proper operation of electrical equipment.